Hello everyone, welcome back to another card making tutorial. So today we're gonna make this cute card and I'm gonna use the new all Aflutter stamp set. So this is a stamp and die set, and you can just use the dies if you want to, or the punch, not dies, punch in this case. And then you have 3 different layers of butterflies. So as you can see here, one is just a plain background, this is a more detailed background, and this is the outline. So depending on what you're using, I recommend, if you want to use the dark outline like in black, I would stamp this first and then either fill it in with the background or with the detailed stamp, simply because it's kind of hard otherwise to line them up. I tried this earlier and I think this way it's just easier to go. I also used Thinking of You Today, which is this little phrase right here. And this is a new set, really fun, and you can never have too many butterflies. They work with so many things, so we're gonna use those. And then I also use an old favorite, Textured Notes. This one is retired. We're gonna use this little strip here, but you can use whatever other background stamp you might have in your stash. And the background stamp is pretty much just along this line here a little bit, and I also did it on the inside. Now the phrase from the inside, this is from an old Close to My Heart phrase set. I always keep my phrase sets because you can never have too many phrases, so but anything that you have maybe in your stash will work. All right, let's get to it, see what we have in here. And I will leave in the notes down below the demonstrator who actually came up with this sketch for the card, because I forgot the name. So I will add this later to the description. So we have a couple of pieces of Designer Series paper, and this is actually also a retired one, but you can use any paper you have. This is the Flowerin Zinnias, and I just thought it's a nice vibrant color combination, perfect for starting the summer. Okay, and I'm just gonna dry fit my pieces here, and so this is gonna go on top here. And then this one's gonna go over here. So this is about where I would like this to have. This one's gonna go a little bit higher because we're gonna stamp the background stamp first. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this, but I do need a scratch piece of paper because we're gonna stamp off. So let's see. This is Crumb Cake from Stampin'Up, and I'm gonna stamp off and then just go right about here and do one more. I put one underneath here, and I know most of this will be covered up, but you can never have too many, and what is covered up, that's fine. Okay, let's see, this one goes about here, so we need some stamp approximately here. Okay, and for the inside we're doing the same thing, stamping off and then just following the line down here. And this is just a little interest, you don't have to do this, but I just like to add a little bit extra. All right, so this is all we need stamping wise. The rest is stamped in just black ink. If you have one of the Stampin'Up black or the new hybrid or the Memento ink, one of these will work. Let's clean our stamp. Okay, and then it is pretty much all just assembling. So let's get the adhesive on here. And I normally use adhesive runner, but I ran out. So my old ATG gun will have to do. And let's move this over just a tad. All right. And the green, so this I used this is Old Olive, and I use the darker side. This is the darker side. I'm gonna use the lighter side. The darker side was a little bit too dark for my taste, but you can use either or. Whatever you like best. Or depending on what paper you use, you might use a different color anyway. Okay, let's put this about here. And then this one goes about here. And I moved it over a little bit more so you can still see the pretty flowers here. And then we have this little strip. And this one goes right on top here. Just centered so you have an even top and bottom about. And that is it for our papers. And then for the butterfly, so I used just a second stamp of this set, which is this one here, and I used it with the Lemon Lolly, just a bright vibrant yellow. Okay, and to add these, so this is my, you know, Tombow glue, the white one with the green. I just refill those in these little bottles here. So I just bent mine in half with my nail here a little bit, put a little bit adhesive. I don't put it all the way on the wings or anything, just in the center. And I know even if we bend the wings up, they will flatten out in the mail, but to prevent this from happening, you can always just add a couple of foam adhesives underneath, which I can show you here in a second. That way they still stays off. Okay, let's try that. Way they still don't go flat in the envelope if you wanted to be sure. Just one little, these things, there you have it, so they will stay up. But I still would put some adhesive in the center, that way they're nice and secured and look a little bit more 3D. Okay, come on. Okay, and this little guy here can use, well, let's just snip it in half. And by the way, good news, if you were missing the Stampin' Up snips, I know they discontinued because the company that they got them from no longer produced them, but they have a new supplier, so we will be getting some snips soon back in stock. All right, and my apologies if you just heard a little squeak. We have a 9-week-old little Irish setter puppy, which keeps us on our toes, and she is right now in her crate and not liking it, but she was so tired she kept falling asleep on the steps. I'm like, okay, I think it's time for a little nap. So if you hear her little whines, that's why. Okay, we're gonna have, I'm just gonna put a little head and the antennas here and a few little flurries. Okay, And to decorate the wings, so I just used, this is an old JellyRoll silver pen. And what I did was I just went in with where the dots, like white dots are, just to elevate this a little bit, give it a little bit more interest. You don't have to do this, but, or you can use other colors depending on what your main colors are. And then I also kind of like went along the body here, so it looks a little bit more like a butterfly, and because it's kind of hard with the yellow to see, and this just makes it a little bit easier. To make it more interesting. Okay. And then all that is left is to decorate the inside. So again, whatever phrase you put in there, and you can do your own doodles. I just decided I do a couple more of these little I don't know what you want to call them, butterfly buzzes. Just so it's a little bit different. And you just have them go on and off of the page if you want to, or you just go evenly around here. That is up to you. All right, and there you have it, quick and easy. And like I said, I will name the demonstrator that came up with that sketch down in the description below. And also the measurements are, let me quick give you those, I forgot those. So this is 4 by 1.5. The purple one is 3.5 by 1.25. And then this one is 3 by 1 inch. And then this green piece was cut at 3.5 by 2.25. All right, so simple, great for leftover pieces of paper that you have. And I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I see you back here with another one next week. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.